Yeah, cheers, you have to turn off all of the things. Alright. We'll have to do for now. This overlay will be fixed and we'll get our sponsors back on the screen, etc. after this first game. As to the other left hand side, it's going to be our Red Pros play from Team Liquid. Give it up for MaNa. And yes, I was just talking about the Christmas Invitational bracket. I can link that in chat as well. It's going to be our second tournament of the day. There you go. I just linked in chat a couple of minutes ago, so you can check that out. So the bottom right hand side from Invictus Gaming, the yellow Protoss player is MacSed. As we get ourselves a rolling here in game number 1 of this best of 5 semi-final matchup as part of the OSC Masters Cup number 108. Crazy, right? Crazy. 108 Masters Cups. Obviously the format has changed recently to become this kind of bi-monthly format. Happens once every 2 weeks. So twice a month. And has $1,000 on the line with these kind of big build-up and group stages into playoffs, etc, etc. We're up scanning around, looking to see what's up and what's happening. See you later, the fat shorts. He's got to go and sleep. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in while you could. Appreciate it. And again, let me know who you're cheering on in this series and so on, guys. Always good to hear who you guys are supporting. You have just the initial PvP setup, very much so what we expected to be double gates apiece, chrono boosting those adepts out as MacSed, getting them out nice and quickly. He has reduced the 2 stalkers on the way from MaNa, but he's chrono boosting his warp gate, obviously going a little bit of a different route for this, and worker also ahead as well, a couple of workers ahead, probably because he was chrono boosting that earlier, whereas MacSed saved up the chrono to spend on his adepts. Finally going to finish up on the low ground. Stalkers will finish and we will see them starting to move out onto the map. 2 more Stalkers now building for MacSed as well. Now the 2 Stalkers for MaNa will want to try and keep themselves in a position where they do manage to catch these Adepts and stop them getting in towards the middle line. That would not be ideal, but the Adepts have juked their way around the side, and so now they're going to be able to hop up in towards the main, but MaNa has a probe in position, and so he is going to be able to block those Adepts in. And MaNa now sees those Adepts, and so he's going to be able to start chasing them with the Stalkers. With 2 more Stalkers on the way, he's actually going to be able to make those Adepts well, really regret their decisions to come across this map, because now he's going to be able to continue chasing over here, but I guess eventually he will be just shading away and he will be able to escape. These Adepts are going to make the escape possible. There's a pylon to the left side. MaNa, the 3rd gateway in the main base, is really going to commit to this aggression. Now 2 Stalkers on 2 Stalkers, 2 more Stalkers coming down the left. MaNa really opening this up here with so much aggression. And then meanwhile, a Dark Shrine comes up from MacSed while he expands, and so obviously as he goes in towards this Dark Shrine, if he does get there, well, it's going to put him into quite some position here. So we're going to be seeing 2 Adepts and a couple of Stalkers are chasing up this left hand side, and MaNa does pull back a little bit. Turns around to try and fight once again. 3 Stalkers and 2 Adepts running away, but he will actually catch one of the Adepts. The other Adept might just shade by to save itself. It's going to get very low otherwise. I mean, he's not going to do a lot of single Adept across the map, but maybe find something rather than dying. It's just this Dark Shrine. MaNa doesn't really have an answer to it at all just yet. No tech being placed down, no Stargate obviously, no Robo, no sign of a Robo still. So MaNa might feel as though he's having a good little time so far, but really a little bit of a build order advantage from MacSed, and maybe even just a build order victory if MaNa still doesn't build detection eventually. I mean, I think it's too late at this point. MacSed has a pylon to the top right hand side. All he has to do is warp in a couple of DTs and off he goes. He'll just well, he doesn't even need 2 DTs, just 1, because he doesn't even need a killer Robo or anything. I guess MaNa could defend the main base. So actually this isn't over yet. MaNa builds the Robo in the main. He has got a wall off. He can warp in a sentry, and he can buy time to keep the DTs out actually. So it's actually not as bad as it maybe seems. MaNa is not as dead as it looks perhaps right away. As MacSed begins to rebuild, he actually starts that sentry now. And yes, one thing for MaNa is the DTs probably won't kill the natural before this observer comes out. Again, you can buy some time with the sentries. So actually, I think MaNa's going to be okay here. Counterattack across the map from MacSed. But again, having to rebuild into a Nexus. Now he's still just building more DTs. All it's going to take is 1 observer. MaNa will be able to defend this here. The Stalker's going to have to dance around a little bit to minimize the damage they take from DTs at the moment. Eventually, MaNa might even want to take down this pylon, giving himself access down the ramp with the sentries and up the ramp again with the Stalkers. The Observer starts to be Chrono boosted. I think he saves the Nexus here. Chrono boost not as good as it was before. Okay, I think that was a very bad call by me to say he saves the Nexus. I don't think he saves the Nexus at all. Okay, I really misjudged the GT damage. I'm used to the older Chrono, where obviously the older Chrono would have allowed him to get this Nexus saved. The Observer would have been out in time. But now there is an Observer, and okay, MaNa lost a Nexus, but he can go across the map and counterattack here. And god damn, is that going to put him into quite a powerful position. 2 Archons on the way up though, and an Immortal as well. I guess we're not really used to seeing this many Stalkers without the ability to kind of blink them around. Sentries will help, but they're not going to be great with Archons there to break the force fields. It might just be more about Guardian Shields for these Sentries to protect the Stalkers with. Shield battery here as well for MacSed to defend. MaNa will expand back at home. Just wants to pressure a little bit to try and, you know, do what he can, pick off what he can, take advantages wherever possible. With the position that he's in, he's going to move straight on forwards, gets a Stalker right away, but costs him a Stalker, gets a Zeld as he heads backwards. Nice shot into the Archon, they're starting to get healed up by the shield battery. This becomes one of the issues, and again, how do you use the force fields when Archon's just going to break through them almost instantly? Going back in towards the natural mineral line once again here. We're going to be seeing the Archon Stalkers, the Immortal gathering up together. The shield barrier or two coming in to help defend this. I mean, there's still a lot of units from MaNa pressuring at the front. Charge on the way up in the meantime from MacSed. MaNa doesn't have any tech units behind this, hasn't even started to build something like the Robo to get in towards Immortal production. He actually had some adepts into this now, which is shade forwards. He's going to be able to get this Immortal. The new Immortal's on the way out, but isn't here just yet. The new shield barrier is to the left-hand side, which is not where this army is fighting. This army to the top right is not going to be able to be healed by this. Adepts into the main, now picking off these probes, and then Immortal fighting the Adepts is not the best source of damage output. He could have definitely had a better time if he was fighting the Stalkers with these probes. I mean, okay, he'll clean it up. But was pulling in again. It was 6 workers killed. MaNa keeping himself out of worker lead at this stage. As more Stalkers arriving once more. These Zeld's not going to have a great time. Immortal's already had its shield, or his barrier kind of popped here. And it goes up the ramp. There is a shield battery up there. Immortal stays alive and gets fully shielded up. Shield battery serving its purpose. And another Immortal about to pop charge as well. I think it might be just about time for MaNa to get out of here. And he seems to think so as well. Backing away. Still opening a few more Stalkers. Finally an Immortal at home as he transitions probes down to the low ground to mine effectively. And MacSed only on 27 workers. Adding more gateways. I mean, isn't that even the right decision right here? 5 gates off of this many workers doesn't necessarily seem like the right choice. MaNa being pushed back quite drastically right now. Those Zealots charging forwards, and the Immortals obviously chunking away at Stalkers when they get in range. Twilight Council's about halfway done for MaNa, as we do see to the far right hand side. This gateway is about halfway done as well. Stalkers coming all the way up here, and we are going to be seeing again a couple of Zealots, a Sentry, this Immortal as well. All just coming over, all just gathering up, getting ready to go. Stalkers are going to push on the right side. We're going to see. Oh, probe goes down, the pylon goes down, has to cancel this gateway. MacSed is actually making a prism. 1 probe, not 2. Really looking as though he maybe just wants to try and find a way to end this game rather than letting it continue here. Observer of MaNa still just moving around a little bit, seeing what he can get up to. Another Zealot going to start to warp in. A few more Stalkers gathering together as well, and we are just going to be seeing the Zealot on the left hand side finds himself a pylon to start working through as well. Starting to work his way through this pylon. Again, that was the pylon from very early in this game, as now I think MacSed is just going to fully commit to this attack across the map. He's up. Well, he's actually not up in anything. He's up in tech, is maybe my argument, but he actually really isn't. Only 2 Immortals out against 2 Immortals. The Prism will help Micro around. He's got a couple Sentries. I'm trying to look at this for any sort of positive. I guess he'll have an Archon in a moment as well. And bringing those ZTs in, but MaNa's about to get Archons too. His Templar Archive's about to finish. He's got charge on the way in MaNa, which is not completely necessary if he actually has, you know, a defensive setup here. He doesn't need charge, so if it's Zealots charged on Zealots, well, it's kind of okay right away. He doesn't have to chase anything down just yet. Let's see how this goes as MacSed's going to commit in. The extra shield barriers on the way up. The first one already healing the Zealot or 2 at the front, just buying time, of course. Nice micro back from MaNa, who now does have charge completed. New shield battery comes into play to just help keep his units traded very effectively, and as he takes down an Archon, well, the 2 Immortals I don't think are going to last very long at all. As you do see, the DT though is actually getting to work here right now. Actually is putting out quite a lot of damage, this TT. Observer was taken down by MacSed during the start of this fight. A new observer comes in, and that'll be the end of it. Ticks off the observer of MacSed 2. MacSed type out GG from MaNa to take game number 1 of this best of 3. Best of 5. Careful not to kind of open XSplit when games are loading, etc. Because we did have an XSplit crash yesterday, and so I just don't want to push things too hard. Like if the game's loading, I don't want to be tabbing in and out and making XSplit change scenes, because that's the sort of thing that could maybe make it lock up. So I was just being patient before jumping on in. We should be good to go right now. As we do have to the top right hand side, our yellow Protoss player from Invictus Gaming is MacSed. Bottom left hand side, our red Protoss player from Team Liquid, it's MaNa. It's game 2 of this best of 5. As we do see probes nibbling each other. Probe moving around, looking to see what's up. Just early game scouting from both players, and just going to be... Sorry, is MacSed not scouting? I really thought I saw a probe of his over there.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Wow,
really? MacSed uses the Diva voice pack? I don't know what it is. Obviously Diva must sound so much better in now, and so much less annoying in the Korean and Chinese versions than the English version, because god damn, the English version is just going, you know, it drives me nuts. Like, it drives me absolutely nuts. I know it drives everyone else nuts, but so many of the Korean players and so on use it all the time. It's really quite crazy. Well, it's a proxied Stargate from MaNa, and he actually is just bypassing just bits and pieces before going in towards that. Just the, I guess we'll get started just before it, but bypass the early units. A couple of Stalkers on the way though from MacSed means that he won't be able to pressure too much here early. It's not like the Adepts are going to run across the map very quick or so. And we've seen that Stargate coming up, and again, this could be a very quick advantage for MaNa if this Oracle gets in and gets enough damage done. A Stargate now from MacSed. Wow. Well, the thing is, MaNa's going to be able to get an Oracle out and see this just because of the speed of his Stargate. We'll see what this initial Oracle can do. It will be, because it's proxied, it's good, because if it wasn't proxied, there would be something coming out from MacSed to defend in plenty of time. As it stands, MaNa starts up the Oracle. He should get some damage done with this, and then he will see if he wants to try and make Phoenix off of the proxy, which is going to be risky, of course, because if it gets killed off or, you know, denied the pylon, you're going to lose all of your, you know, Phoenix production. That's going to kind of suck. Actually, MaNa adding on another gateway. It looks as though he might just want to get aggressive once again, making Stalkers of his own now. Warp Gate's still coming up as we're going to see the first Oracle popping out. Oh, is he going to save the Oracles? No, okay, he's not. He's going to go in. I think he needs to go in. Like, the sooner he goes in, I mean, obviously, sometimes actually just keeping the Oracles for 2 would be worthwhile, but in this case, he needs to get in here and do something before the Phoenix come out, because that would just mean the Oracles would not do anything. Phoenix is going to get on this Oracle eventually, but it will not kill it instantly. It will take a little while, and so it will be 7, 8 kills, 9 before the Oracle goes down. 9 kills is not bad. 2 Adepts have made it into MaNa's mineral line, and his Stalkers are going across the map. And so MaNa is in some trouble all of a sudden. As he pushes up this ramp, he's not going to win that fight. And the shield battery coming through as well. Another Oracle. The 3rd Stalker comes in, and MaNa will actually be able to start winning out this fight. He trades 1 Stalker for 1 Stalker and shields off of another. Adept's still running rampant in his mineral line though, and MaNa is losing a lot of probes, but he's still on a worker lead, as this new Oracle will make sure to keep that worker lead in play for a little while longer. Obviously the Phoenix will clean it up eventually, but it's another 7 kills. MaNa is now able to get back to mining, but he needs to get the rest of these Stalkers across the map ASAP. 12 to 13 workers, the big difference. A Nexus for MacSed, and so MaNa's aggression might not work out here. He'll go across the map and try and make something happen, but I think it's going to be very difficult for him to really get something done. The Phoenix will work nicely defensively too, able to lift up a couple of Stalkers here and there. It does have an army supply lead, so it's definitely not impossible for him to make this work out. MacSed maybe doesn't, I mean, he just saw the lack of Nexus, right? So he should have some idea as to what's going on, but he's only building probes, because the gateway is not warping in, even though they're not on cooldown. And now his Phoenix are out of position up to the top side. And if MaNa just walks straight in here, it doesn't matter if you've got a shield battery, if those Stalkers are going to more or less one-shot your Stalkers anyway. And the initial Stalker doesn't do a lot here, as we're going to be seeing Adept warp in as well. Here come the Phoenix again. The Phoenix make this interesting, as actually MacSed's pulled back away from his shield battery, which puts him into a bit of a weird spot where this is not really going to help him. And another Stalker going to get picked away. The shield battery is helping to keep it alive. Now MaNa kind of goes for the Phoenix and now doesn't, and then well, he turns around for the Stalker. Looks as though MaNa's got enough. He's just going to break up in towards the main base and now works his way through a pile on GG from MacSed. MaNa takes game 2 and is one map away from taking the series just like that. MaNa is up 2-0. He spawns in as the blue Protoss player to top left hand side, representing Team Liquid, MaNa. And to the lower right, our yellow Protoss player from Invictus Gaming, it is MacSed. MacSed, the Chinese Protoss, making his dreams. Well, he's not actually making his dreams anything right now. He's not having a great time just yet. We do get this set up and ready to roll. Just getting into game number 3 and really looking to see what the builds are going to be again. It's been a lot of aggression in the PvP so far. A very back and forth series in terms of that aggression. We've seen players attacking early, especially MaNa, really just proxying gates, etc. and really kind of amping up the pressure from the very early stages. On to Odyssey now, the third map of this, and I guess we'll see how it continues. We've seen a couple of adepts on the way out right now from these gates up on the high ground, so 2 adepts coming through on either side, and we do see the warp gate on the way up for both players as well. Chrono boost being used, and well, really, 2 adepts apiece is going to be interesting to see how they interact and see whether they get past each other or whether they end up fighting in the middle of the map. We'll see in the near future. One pylon already being popped down here, allowing the MaNa to move into position to take a Nexus. It's going to be a fast Stargate follow-up though from MacSed. Well, from MaNa we see the Twilight Council. We'll see what he wants to do with this. Maybe DTs of his own, may just go in towards a fast blink. A few different possibilities here definitely available. And as MaNa will get set up, as we do see a couple of adepts coming in, he is going to be able to push MacSed. Well, he gets a tap onto one adept and MacSed will continue moving forwards. But Stalker's about to be out, and so they should be able to defend this. And there should be a similar story across the map, and there it is, 2 Stalkers of MacSed about to pop out here. Nice pylon block as well. Stalker's doing their job so far. And still no Nexus from MaNa. He will be finishing up that Twilight. I'm about to see what his play is. He is just going to go into Blink and a 3rd gate. Wow, really still aggressive once again. 3 gates and Blink tech all off of 1 base so far. Very, very crazy stuff. Well, Blink coming through as we're going to be seeing these couple of adepts now from MaNa. Okay, pulling back up through the center. We're going to be seeing those 2 adepts from MacSed being chased away. Okay, they're not going to do much more damage, but they don't die either. MaNa's adepts are in a similar scenario who have actually intercepted. So he's kind of given chase to MacSed a little bit here. Giving track of those adepts, and now 2 Stalkers get back on top of them. It's at least 1 dead adept. Stalkers can micro and catch that up, and the other adept shades over to the left hand side. Does actually commit. This probe going to throw down a pal on the other side of the map. Blink isn't ready just yet, but it will be Chrono Boost now, and it's only going to be about a minute away, if that even at this stage. I mean, 60 seconds plus the Chrono will speed it up just slightly. Take about, depends, I guess if he's got 1 more Chrono, then it's going to be about another 30 seconds or so from now. Now, Stalker army is already kind of large. Again, it's going to be slow warp-ins from MaNa here moving forwards as we do see these Stalkers pushing towards the front. What's out from MacSed? Well, after the Stargate, he actually just went straight into Phoenix production. Now a Void Ray. I mean, the Void Ray is obviously the better help out, as we're going to be seeing a single adept into the mineral line again. I mean, last time it was 2 adepts in the mineral line causing some chaos. This time it'll just be 1. Some probes will pull in, and an adept actually warped in to help defend. He's still a little bit of a nuisance, and MaNa losing some mining time. His own Nexus on the way up behind this. If he could just get in here for long enough to kill this Nexus, I mean, that's already an advantage for him. But we'll have Blink on his side. The shield battery building powered by the power on the high ground. There's 2 adepts to shade value. Blink's on top of the Void Ray, but there's a shield battery here, so it takes him a long time to get rid of it. It goes down eventually. Same story right now for these Stalkers getting shielded up, but shield battery doesn't last forever. Stalkers now Blink back down to the low ground. 3 more Stalkers walking in. And yes, killing off the Void Ray is nice, because it really does slow down kind of, you know, moving forwards in the game. As we're going to be seeing Stalkers able to get rid of these Phoenix here. No! Shield battery saves the day again. And more Stalkers arriving. So far, MaNa, I mean, an Immortal out too. You don't think you can do much more. Did he just cancel his Immortal? No, sorry, it's just mixed in with the Stalkers. I still find it so hard to see this Immortal sometimes. So, you know, going to see Stalkers broken in front, gets one Stalker kill again right from the get-go. More Stalkers from MaNa moving in from the south side. I'm going to be joined up in a moment or two as this Immortal Corona boosting out of the Robo facility. Another shield battery down in the low ground. Stalker's going to start fighting an Immortal, and well, shield battery doesn't have too much energy, and so MaNa actually ends up blinking away because the Immortal's on the high ground. He didn't actually have the vision to fight that there, so that's a slight annoyance. And the second Immortal joins the fray, and MacSed does make it to the low ground himself. MaNa making 2 probes at a time. This Adept has been cheeky. He's coming in for its 6th kill of the game now. I mean, it's not every day you see the Adept getting up to 6 kills. And this other Adept is going to come down to fight it, but then it shades into the main base, and MaNa's really having issues trying to deal with that. Meanwhile, 3 Adepts are going to try and shade up in towards MacSed's mineral line to split up this army. The shield battery is up, and he's doing a lot for now. Pulling back, the Adept shade on through. The Phoenix being sent in to deal with this as MaNa actually only got one of those Adepts through there. One Phoenix lifts, the other one is missing to actually get damage done. He lost it before. Oh no, it went very low. It wasn't in position here. Now the other Phoenix lifts, and these guys just spotting for each other. As we are going to be seeing. Stalker's getting ready to go again, but 6 probes lost. MaNa loses his eco advantage that he had just a moment or two ago. Now he's fighting against triple Immortal as well with, you know, with Blink Stalkers it's possible, but it's definitely not guaranteed. He does blink to shut down these Adepts. I like that, and get rid of the potential of damage being done. It definitely goes a long way. It's definitely the kind of right sort of direction to move in towards. As we do see these 2 Phoenix moving over the left-hand side. Stalkers again going to try and get in position to push forwards. Gets another Adept, I think, at the front there. Gets a barrier onto the Immortal. Twilight on the way out now from MacSed. Does MaNa even have a Robo up? He doesn't. He hasn't got anything to kind of back this up and continue on as Phoenix pick off another couple of probes. MacSed is just creeping ahead in that work account. MaNa's supply is starting to take a lead. He's now getting sentries. You know, if he hits like 1, 2 force fields here and he just sort of segregates these units out a little bit, it's possible, you know, maybe a set of 3 force fields to be able to grab a single Immortal, just like that. 1, 2, 3, boom. One Immortal goes down instantly. And that could just be the opening MaNa needs. And now he blinks on top of one Immortal here. He goes down pretty fast as well. The shield battery is not going to have energy to protect the second Immortal. Now MaNa has Blink Stalkers against normal Stalkers, and obviously that goes in MaNa's favour. But does he have enough to keep on fighting here? New Immortal on the way out, but losing the Immortals really does suck. And MacSed's about to be supply blocked as well. If this pylon goes down too, and MaNa will get the kill on it. So now a supply block, that's going to hurt continuing forwards here. Probes are being pulled in once again, and MaNa finding himself the counter damage to get back in the game. Just a little bit of force field on the ramp as he blinks on top of these units to the south side. Well, that's really, really powerful, of course, because that Immortal now is not really going to be able to join the fight for a little while. And MaNa's picking off probes and all sorts, and eventually he'll have to blink away as the Immortal does join the fray. MaNa really taking advantage of what he has in his favour right now. Some very cool little plays here and there to really make the most of his units, really utilise them in every way possible. And now, well, we know that Immortal is going to be kind of the main target of this blink forwards. He picks off a couple of units, and now it's just Adepts left over. Adepts on their own are not going to be enough. The Phoenix are going to go down too. MaNa is going to put MacSed down into the 3rd place match here. MaNa goes to the grand finals of the OSC Masters Cup playoffs. Number 108. MaNa's having quite a good tournament here today. He actually went 9-1 in his group stage, by the way, only losing a map to you, Thermal. He actually, in that group stage, took down B, Control, Strange, and Winter 2-0. And then in his, he went straight into the quarterfinals when he went 3-1 against Cyan, now 3-0 against MacSed, and boom, into the finals. MaNa